You store your guns properly, so not just anyone can get to them.
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
Safer when my friends come over.
As your neighbor, I'll feel safer.
As a school teacher, I'll feel safer.
We'll all feel safer.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Uncle Dan?
Mom? Dad?
If you store your guns properly, so not just anyone can get to them.
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
Safer when my friends come over.
As your neighbor, I'll feel safer.
As a school teacher, I'll feel safer.
We'll all feel safer.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, it's your girl Dominique Clark, and we are back, no strings attached, your new favorite radio show with your favorite matchmaker and relationship mentor. And we have none other than the amazing Charli Penn with us on the show. Like I said, Charli Penn is the senior digital relationships and lifestyle editor at Essence, and she's also the co-host of Essence's new podcast, Yes Girl. Charli Penn is nationally recognized as a digital journalist who writes in the name and praise of love. So you know I'm here for it. She has over 10 years experience reporting on relationships, dating, marriage, sex, and weddings, and she's been claimed, or she's known as, the digital go-to girl for all real talk on love. So I'm excited to have her here with me. Charli, how are you?
I'm well. How are you? What a lovely introduction. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. I am doing good. So how's that New York traffic? Are you in the middle of it?
Not yet, but I will be shortly. But, you know, this was a much-needed break. Let's say that. So thank you for the intermission. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. It is definitely a happy Friday. Indeed, I am here in Atlanta, and so I'm excited because there's all this good weather going on down here, and I'm sure the weather's good up there too. But can we jump right into it, Charli?
Let's do it, girl.
Okay, so there's a segment of the show called Shoulda, Woulda, Coulda, and this is where I talk about what's really trending in the media, you know, what's really making headlines, and for this particular case, I really want to talk about you and what you're doing, and some of the things that I think are fantastic, and one thing for sure that I love. I was looking at your blog on your website, and for those of you who are not familiar with Charli's blog, you definitely want to check it out and follow it. It's manwifeanddog.com, and one of the essays, or blogs rather, that she posted was kind of controversial, and it was about that three-letter word, sex, and I loved it.
Thank you.
Yes, so since we're both grown, I figured we can go ahead and talk about it. The title of the blog post was Sex as a Bargaining Tool, When to Hold and When to Fold. I love it. So can you just tell me, I mean, I read the blog post, but tell the listeners what inspired you to write this blog post and why it was so necessary.
Okay, you're right. It was definitely controversial. It was an oldie but a goodie for sure. I love that you set this one up, Dee. So what I was thinking about at the time is I've always, my motto when talking about love and relationships is being transparent.
Yeah.
You know, and being honest and just really just keeping it real. That's what I believe in. And I've always told people, I don't like to say I'm a quote-unquote relationship expert. I like to say I'm learning as I go and sharing. So for me, this post was about the revelation that as women, our mothers and our aunties joked about, where we hold the power, and all of that. And they told us about it, and I was all like, come on, we're equal, and da-da-da-da, and, being a super feminist, which is all fantastic. But then I got married, and I was with my husband for quite some time, and it hit me like, okay, we do have some power here, and I did get a lot of feedback. It was very interesting at the time, but, that's how I felt, and I shared it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely think that there is power in the P. I hope I can say that.
Yes, you can.
So with that, when would you say you should hold, and when do you fold?
Great question. I know for me, I will say that some of my thoughts have changed since writing this post just a little bit, but we will get to that in a second. I think you can hold when you just don't want to, and I think that that's something when people heard me say bargaining chips, they really only heard like hold to get what you want.
Right.
But it's also hold when you don't want to do it. I think we get a lot of pressure in relationships. That's this idea you got to keep it hot and, get intimate and do this. And we're not superheroes. If you're going to get through the day, raise kids, take care of your pets, go to work, be amazing. Sometimes you're not going to feel like it, and I think this idea and this pressure behind feeling like, you need to do it just because he or she may want to, you can hold to make your point, to say, you know what, I'm tired. You know what, I would feel better about this intimacy tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening, or I need a little more romance.
Yes. I am definitely for that. I am married, and I have 2 girls, so I'm a mom, too, and I'm running the business, so I'm exhausted a lot of the time. And, listen, Hubs knows that sometimes we have to do a rain check, and he's okay with it.
Okay.
He's definitely okay
Sometimes
with
they feel it, too, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes men feel the same way. They just don't want to say anything.
Exactly.
But they do.
Exactly. And, with my husband, it's definitely like, as long as he knows that it's going to happen, he's all good,
Exactly.
So you gotta be.
I think everybody can agree that sometimes, like, sex is just it's part of what you do in a relationship or a marriage. You don't come to work like giving half your effort or 50%. You don't want to come to the bedroom doing the same.
Right. So there was, it might have been at church. So Jesus is my best friend, Charli, FYI.
I love it.
And so
that's a great best friend to have.
Yes. And so I think I was at a service one time, and the pastor said that, when you're having challenges with your spouse, that is definitely not the time to pull away from sex. Like, sex should not be negotiable. It shouldn't be something that's on the table. So regardless of if you were upset with each other, if you had a disagreement, if, in that situation, you should still have sex with them if they request it. How do you feel about that?
I mean, sex is definitely a part. It's a tough one, to be honest. Sex is definitely part of relationship maintenance.
Yes.
And we understand that. And unless you just agreed from the day you met on that first date that you were going to be a part of the sexless intimacy, then I definitely think there's an expectation. But I think that in anything, you have to just be sure that your partner is into what you're doing. Because if you're asking for something they don't want to give you, then you're asking them to give you outside of themselves.
That's right.
And I'm not ever here for that. Yes. And I think the right spouse will understand. And God will too.
Yes, Jesus will definitely understand. Like, the Lord knows your heart. So, I think that's fantastic. And I think that, a lot of people get, so confused with the whole sex thing. And I always tell the couples that I coach that as long as you guys are in agreement about it, as long as you guys have created a healthy sex life that, is meaningful to you guys, then it's all good. Whether that is several times a week, whether that, babe, I'm coming in tired and I'm going to have to do the rain check, whatever the agreement is, as long as you guys are on the same page, both parties are still being fulfilled sexually, then, you guys should be good. Well, Charli, sit tight. Everybody else, we're going to be coming right back after the break with more with Miss Charli Penn. It's No Strings Attached.
Sound of news in the making. Sensation Station Network.
Never achieved before. Major key alert. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it. So make it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face. And posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, and father of 5. I'm also an expert on drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids, and there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
Vince Lombardi once said that it's hard to be aggressive when you're confused. Some of us think that taking our lives to the next level, both personally and professionally, is a confusing and complicated process. Guess what? It's not, and I can prove it. My book, Truisms, will show you how living your life by rules that are so self-evident and obvious, you'll say, I knew that. This powerful yet short, detailed bestseller is on sale right now, under $10. Go to michaelmcfadden.com. That's michaelmcfadden.com, and let Truisms help you to the next level.
All right, guys, we are back with No Strings Attached, your new #1 source for relationship empowerment. And we have the amazing senior digital relationship and lifestyle editor at Essence, Miss Charli Penn. Charli, are you here?
I'm here. Hello. We're back.
Yes, we are back. And I wanted to get into something else that I loved on your blog. I love that you have love homework.
Thank you.
Yes, I think that is so important, and I think it speaks to, how important it is for us to continue to work on our relationship, our marriage. Even after you say I do, there's still work to be done. And so I love that you are kind of providing a guide and, some suggestions on things that we could work on to actually make our marriages better. And one of the posts that you wrote, or the homework assignments that you gave, was entitled, Can You Answer These 6 Questions About Your Man? And I thought this was fantastic because I'm like, man, I don't know that I can answer all of these. And I don't know that we've actually really sat down and taken the time to really think about these things or even have these type of conversations with our mates to figure it out. And so
yeah, it's a really good conversation starter.
Yes. And so I wanted to not ask you these questions, but kind of bring up these questions to the listeners and kind of ask you why, you decided to include these particular questions in the homework assignment. So the first question that you have is, can you tell the difference between when he's telling a little white lie to protect you or just telling a little white lie in general? What are his quote-unquote tells? So what made you bring that question up?
Because I think sometimes with relationships, when you are already with someone that you trust, you can really let your guard down, and it's really important. Sometimes, we will tell each other a little quote-unquote white lie, but what that really is like, I don't like your haircut, but I'm not going to tell you that because I love you, and I don't want to do it. And there's like a tell there, like, okay, he loves me, he's just being nice, and I love him or her for that. Right. Then there's also, like a legitimate, dishonest lie. Like, I wasn't where I said I was last night, I'm not feeling the same way. And I think it's really important to learn your husband's tells so that you can avoid small drama and understand when he's genuinely just avoiding hurting your feelings and when he's just really, not being truthful.
Yes. I couldn't agree with you more. Another question that you asked, which I also think is fantastic, is if he wakes up in the middle of the night and can't fall back to sleep, what is he sitting in the dark thinking about? Now, this was big for me because I'm like, do I know what my husband's thinking about in the middle of the night? It really makes you think about, do I know what, his concerns are, what's worrying him? Have I asked enough questions to really know and get in tune with him in that way? So what were your motives behind this question?
it a way to figure out if you understand what he's really thinking about when he's supposed to not be thinking about much at all.
Right.
You know, rest is supposed to be peaceful, and that's really getting at what's really weighing on his mind. It doesn't always have to be tragic or or awful or depressing, but you really want to know, like, is money keeping him up at night? Is it work? You know, is it us? Is it the stress of where we live? Is it geography? Whatever it is, you should really have a good idea as to what could be keeping your spouse from sleeping well, and part of that is really understanding not just what makes them happy, but what makes them sad.
Yes, I think that is so spot on. And what about this question? Is he more afraid of losing you or losing himself?
Yes. Now, girl, this one was very important to me.
Yes.
Okay, because I feel like we talk so much about finding love and the pursuit of love, and oftentimes we really connect with people who want love as much as we do.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's still tried and true, but it's always true. If you don't love yourself, you can't be a half of a whole. You know, you have to be complete to complete a relationship.
Right.
And this one is going to sound like a trick question, but he should be more afraid of losing himself.
Yes.
Because if he doesn't know who he is or what he wants, then he's going to lose you anyway, or lose the connection that you had at least. Because, you know, we have to be able to make ourselves happy to get right and be right for someone else. And that's the thing, we like to skip that part and just be like, oh, love feels so good, and I love that he fights for me, he won't lose me, he's ride or die for me. Right, but if he's losing himself in doing that, then you're going to lose him anyway.
Absolutely. Well, talking about losing someone, before you can even lose someone, you have to get with someone. So coming up after the break, we have one of my favorite segments. It's called Where They At? Where are all the good men at, Charli? So we're going to talk about it right after the break. Sit tight, guys.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm fleece on a
I want to be a football
I want to be
stadium.
a bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Major key alert. Life is like school. You will be tested, so pass it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by GetSchooled and the Ad Council.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Sensation Station Network. Radio 2, Atlanta.
So, where they at? Where are all the good guys at? So, Charli, you being a relationship expert, me being a relationship expert and matchmaker, I'm sure, just like me, you are constantly asked, where do I find a good man? How do I position myself to be found? You know, it's probably one of the number one questions that we get asked in this industry. Would you agree?
Absolutely, girl. Every day. And I welcome that question.
Yes, yes. And so I wanted to kind of start this segment out talking about, you and your husband. One of the things that I love about following you on social media is that, and any other expert really in this space, is that we do a really good job of letting people into our relationship and our love story. I love watching, seeing pictures of you in the hubs on vacation, or doing different things together, whether it's holidays and you show little pictures with a cute little dog, and
thank you.
I think it's great. I think it gives hope, and it inspires people, and it just lets people know that it is possible and it is out here and it can happen for me. And so tell us about where you met your guy, where you found your husband, and how you guys met.
Oh, you want me to spill all the tea? Okay, Dee, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so to be quite honest, I actually met my husband through a mutual friend, and to be really real, I was trying to block my blessings, y'all. I wasn't ready. I didn't want it to go down. I had a friend who was actually more of an acquaintance at the time, and he was close to an ex of mine who I was no longer with. And he said, I know the perfect guy for you. I didn't know you were single. I know the perfect guy. Wow. And I was like, too close to comfort. Like, not enough to grieve the separation. Yes. No, thank you. And we were actually at a barbecue, and little did I know, he got on the phone anyway, and he called this guy up because he just knew, And then about an hour later, this guy tapped me on the shoulder, and he said, hi, I'm G, and I came here to meet you.
Wow.
And I said, you did? What? Huh? You did? Because I felt like I'd been set up on a blind date, and even then, I'm not even going to lie to you guys, he was great and all of that, but I refused to give him my phone number. I took his. Mistake. Okay, I didn't want to go out afterwards. I was really trying to block my blessings. I was young, and I just thought I knew how I met my husband love story was going to go.
Yes.
And I didn't think it was going to be like that, so I was trying to block my blessings.
So I was going to talk about this a little later, but what you just said is a great segue into it, so I'm just going to get into it really quickly.
Sure.
One of the things that I think is a challenge for singles today is that we get so hyper-focused on finding a man and, getting into a relationship and getting married and the way that we want that to happen, that we can sometimes miss these organic encounters and these random meetings of potentially great and quality men. You know what I mean? Because we weren't open to it because we had so much tunnel vision on what we thought should happen and how we thought, we should meet our ideal guy. And so I think it's amazing that you just said that. And, it's something that I work with my clients with all the time, and it's shifting their mindset to being open to finding love in a different way,
Yes.
And so going back to what I was going to say before, with the pictures that you post on Instagram with your husband, which I love, you often use the hashtag marriage is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's not just, hey, I'm married. It's not just, something that you do, but it's who you are and the life that you guys create and what that means to you. And so you have been with your mate, I think 14 years now, right? Did I get that right?
Yep, 14. Yes, you did. Excellent.
So what are some of the keys that you would say is to transitioning from just being married to it actually becoming a lifestyle?
That's a great question, girl. So I chose that hashtag because people always used to say to my husband and I, wow, you guys are so good at being married. And I really thought about what that meant, because it was really the ultimate compliment. And what they meant is that we sort of see our world through our marriage. Like, how does my career, my job affect my marriage? How does where we live affect our happiness?
Yes.
How does what we do on the weekends increase our joy? Everything is sort of seen through the eyes of our marriage, and me being a lifestyle and relationship expert, I think has a lot to do with that, and it's really like we are that couple that will get like the right mattress so that we're both comfortable, or make sure that we're doing new things together on the weekends so that we can relax and release. And, and we really put in the work. And then I really started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? It really is a lifestyle. You can be married, or you can practice the art of being happily married.
Yes.
And I think that's what we try to do.
Yes, and I love what you just said, and it's all about being intentional. It's all about, being in the relationship, and everything that you do is on purpose. And I think that with us being in the relationship space, we're constantly thinking about that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it certainly helps. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people who admire my relationship with my husband, and like you just said,
I am one of them.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yes, that's Wes the best. That's my hubs. We've been together since 16, and so it's really important for us to be responsible with the platform that I guess we have now as, husband and wife, and being intentional about what we do and, the example that we're setting. And so I couldn't agree with you more, and I love that. So, guys, sit tight. Coming up after the break, we have the Snatch Back. Now, Charli, this is where I am charging women to snatch back their power. So I'm excited to chit-chat with you about this right after the break. It's No Strings Attached, guys.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. he's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Vince Lombardi once said that it's hard to be aggressive when you're confused. Some of us think that taking our lives to the next level, both personally and professionally, is a confusing and complicated process. Guess what? It's not, and I can prove it. My book, Truisms, will show you how living your life by rules that are so self-evident and obvious, you'll say, I knew that. This powerful yet short, detailed bestseller is on sale right now, under $10. Go to michaelmcfadden.com. That's michaelmcfadden.com, and let Truisms help you to the next level.
Your health is at stake. Diabetes, gout, high blood pressure, inflammation, and joint pain, even weight loss. It's time to end your battle. The Abundant Life Movement is dedicated to the building of generational health by transforming your water with the power of alkaline to improve hydration and fight against acidic and unhealthy conditions in the body. Here's a testimonial from Linda Rogers Brown and Pamela McMillan.
2011, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had no pain and no symptoms associated with that illness. It's a silent killer. I was introduced to Extreme X2O alkaline water, and within 2 days of drinking it, I was off all my pain medicine, and now we're 6 years strong, no chemo, no radiation, no cancer.
I am a 3-time cancer survivor. I was born with thyroid cancer. By being on the alkaline products allowed me to be able to cope currently with colon cancer. Now I'm able to function and be more mobile within 3 days of being on the product.
Extreme X2O, when the water you're drinking is damaging your health. Extreme X2O. For more info, AbundantLifeMovement.com or call 910-527-2260.
People are always looking to invest in a good opportunity. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change called Better Futures. With your investment, it helps students like me go to college. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, it's your girl Brenna B. I want to tell you about something pretty amazing. My friends over at Buckhead Laser Lipo have an option for you. You want to lose those inches? You want to get in shape? Spring is here. Summer is upon us. We have a way for you to lose those inches quickly. Immediately see results. $99 is your first treatment. No surgery, no pain, no downtime, just inch loss. Who doesn't want to be in shape for the summer? Buckhead Laser Lipo, 678-871-0097.
BuckheadLaserLipo.com.
Station. I'm in the zone, man. Network.
I'm impressed.
So, if your current boyfriend still invites the ex-girlfriend to all the family cookouts, is he considered bae or buster? Make sure you put your votes in. Get your votes in now for our bae or buster poll that we're going to be talking about later on in the show. It's going to be a good conversation. I can't wait to chit-chat with you guys about it and kind of go over some of the responses that I've gotten on social media so far, and they have been juicy. But right now, it's the Snatchback, and we have none other than Miss Charli Penn, Senior Digital Relationship and Lifestyle Editor of Essence, and I'm excited to talk with her. So, Charli, the Snatchback was really motivated by my book, She's Valuable, But Does She Know It? I wrote this book because I work with so many amazing women who have either climbed the corporate ladder, you know, they've got a lot of degrees behind their name, or just very successful, and they know their worth professionally, but personally, not so much. And so I found that I had to disrupt the matchmaking process, because before we could even talk about introducing you to someone, you know, the ultimate prerequisite to me for dating and relationship is knowing your worth and knowing your value, knowing what, you know, you bring to the table, and owning all of who you are. And so I wanted to make sure I dedicated a portion of the show to the Snatchback and snatching back your power, ladies, and owning who you are, knowing your worth, so that you can be a better filter in the relationship space, and then ultimately just experience the type of relationships that your heart desires. And so the Snatchback today is all about empowerment and supporting other women. So I don't know if you've been watching, which I'm sure you have, but Tamar and Tiny, they're relationship has kind of been unraveled a little bit, and we've kind of seen a little bit of it play out on social media. And recently, Tiny posted a picture of little Logan, Tamar's son, who's adorable, and wishing him a happy birthday. Tamar wrote back, wrote a post saying, hey, let's get the friendship together. Let's start over. She even put some stuff in there, hoping that her and, Tiny kind of mend their relationship and get that back together. But there was one thing that she said that kind of made the internet go crazy. And she mentioned something about Toya Wright and called her paperback Toya.
Right, I saw that.
Oh my gosh. I was like, Tamar is like the queen of shady.
Tamar does petty like no other. That's kind of why we love her.
It's exactly why we love her. She does petty so well. And I really, really, really did. I promise you. I hollered out loud when I read that because I was like, Tamar, oh my gosh. So I loved it. But, Toya kind of clapped back and, it was just back and forth. And one of the things that I just hate, I love all of them individually. I love them all individually. But I hate that we have gotten to a point where it's okay to kind of bring each other down as women, and not just behind closed doors, but publicly on social media. And one of the things that I talked about in the book is, or an affirmation that I have in the back of the book, is I support and empower other women. I think that is so important, especially in the Black community. And if there is a difference, if there's something like that's going on and you don't agree, social media is not the place to do that. I mean, how do you feel about, the use of social media and how people are using it to either air out their dirty laundry or, try to mend relationships or whatever? How do you feel about the use of social media in relationships today?
Absolutely. That's a great question, girl. I mean, for me, I think that anyone who knows me, they know that I'm just a bundle of smiles and joy. I'm really a Care Bear, and I've always been a very cheery and positive person.
Yeah.
So I tend to just rebuke any negativity coming my way. And nowadays, since all we do is live on social media, I feel that way about social media. I give love and I pay it forward. If I see a sister slaying in her outfit, I'm going to be like, you slay. Girl dance emojis, red dress, kisses. If I see a happy couple online and I'm, and it's their anniversary or they're just on a date night, I'm going to say, yes, love, I'm here for you, and that's wonderful. And because I'm giving that out, I expect that back in return.
Yes.
And I'm not here for any negativity because everybody could use a boost to their self-esteem and ego at all times. We need to be uplifting each other.
Yes.
There's never an occasion to tear down a stranger or someone who you know nothing about. So when I see it, I block it, I don't welcome it, and I don't respond to it, because I just feel like it's so unnecessary.
Yes, and, and not necessarily to the case of, what's happening with Tamar, Tanya, and Toya, but I've found that in my work, women who are unfamiliar with their value, they kind of see the world from a place of like scarcity and lack, right? And so they're always competing and feeling like, they have to compare, or either tear down another person for a resource. And we definitely know for a man, because that's why side chicks are out here winning, it drives me insane. And I always tell the women that I work with, you've got to be really careful about that and how you move, because it speaks to who you are on the inside and how you feel about yourself.
Absolutely. And I really think that people need to understand that you don't understand someone, you don't know another person's situation.
Yeah.
I think we need to take care of each other.
Yes.
And I think you saying something negative about me, knowing nothing about me or my situation at all, that's just more about you than it could ever say about me.
Yes.
And that, and that makes me sad, because you should never want to hurt someone else or take away from their day or their love or their relationship. Because like you said, we can all be insecure about different choices that we made and different things. And for all you know, that person is barely hanging on that day, barely holding on. And your little slick comment or negativity could really just take them over the edge. And you wouldn't want anyone to do that to you.
Yes. So I certainly believe that real women help others and are not threatened by their success. In your time with working, with so many people in the industry and all sorts of industries, really, what are some of your favorite, girl moments where, or, everyone's like team woman and we're supporting each other and it's like black girl magic? What are some of your favorite moments where you've seen other women supporting each other and really rallying for each other?
Well, I really for anyone who hasn't paid a visit to the Essence office, I hope you get to at some point in your life.
Yes, I received that. I claim that.
Okay, because we joke, and come on, Dee, let's do it. Come meet, let's hang out, let's have lunch, because it is truly like entering Black Girl Magic headquarters. And we joke around here that that's what we call it because we're in this super corporate environment, where we're in a boardroom and in meetings and making important, major, epic, million-dollar decisions.
Yes.
And it's all Black women. Beautiful, talented, wonderful, all ages, all backgrounds, all religions, and we're all just here together showing that diversity and getting the business done. And what I love most about it is this is also the most positive work environment I've ever been in.
Wow.
And I think that that's really saying a lot because, in the media they like to portray Black women as angry and agitated and quote-unquote ratchet or, upset by everything and never satisfied. Yet look at me in the most positive work environment of my life surrounded by Black women. So take that, Internet.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, I'm here for it. I love it. I'm a huge supporter of women and the things that they're doing. I'm just like you. If I see someone really doing it and winning on social media, I'm definitely going to comment and show my love. And I expect the same in return, just like you. Guys, that was an amazing...
And you know what I love?
What's that?
If I could just tell you, I love when, two Black women who don't know each other are, walking by each other at an event or a party or in the grocery store, and they do that acknowledgement, and they say, girl, I love your dress, or, oh, that curl, those curls, what conditioner do you use? I love the way we salute each other, and I feel like that is happening now more than it ever has, because we are just so proud of our magic and so happy to be who we are, and we want to pass it along, and I'd like to salute all sisters for that. I'm proud of us.
Yes, I am proud of us too, ladies, and I'm also proud of our fellas. So coming up, we have 5 for the fellas, and I'm excited to talk about them right after the break.
Deliberate dumbing down. Dumb down society. Deliberate dumbing down of America.
Dumb down public. Why would they do this?
Sensation Station Network. Radio, not dumbed down.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Coming to Tampa Bay, I said we want to win a Super Bowl, and I believe we will.
From IamSecond.com.
We came close, but never really did win that championship.
Former NFL head coach Tony Dungy.
At the end of my 6th year, I was fired, and it was one of the biggest disappointments of my life. Next year, I'm in Indianapolis, get to the playoffs, but get knocked out again. And for the next couple of years, it's the same thing. Everyone is saying Colts are never going to win one. And I did wonder, why didn't it pan out the way I thought it would? But I determined that I had to have Christ first, and that everything else came below that, including my own desires. The next year, that ended up being our year to go to the Super Bowl and win it, and it was a wonderful feeling. Every decision I make, I'm going to make it through the lens of Jesus Christ, and He'd guide us to that ultimate victory. I'm Tony Dungy, and I am second.
This is big business. This is the American way.
Station Network.
See ya.
All right, Charli. So coming up this summer, I'm excited about it. I don't know. I'm excited about it, but I've never been. I'm excited as if I'm going and as if I have been and experienced it, but I know it's amazing. It's Essence Festival, and it's in New Orleans. Can you tell us what we can expect from Essence this year? Essence Festival, rather, this year.
Absolutely. It shall be lit, as we say. It shall be lit. It is the greatest time, and you have to experience it to know, but it is, I believe, either the first or second largest music festival in the country.
Yeah.
And it is really 550,000 people descending on New Orleans to party, and it's a party with a purpose. During the day, you're filling up your cup and your soul and being motivated and inspired by these amazing house of panelists journalists, and I mean, Oprah's been there, Ayala's been there. You know, people come and move you during the day, and then at night they groove you. We really party, and the lineup is hot.
I love that. So what is one of your favorite Essence festival moments that you've had since you've been working with Essence?
Oh, there are so many. But I'll break it down real quick to two of them. The first one was meeting Aretha Franklin.
Oh,
she performed 3 years ago, and I was backstage, you know, doing the red carpet videos, and everybody was like, Aretha's not coming. You know, she doesn't have to do this. Aretha's going to get in her car, get off the stage, you know, get in her car with her fan and go. And I turned around, and there is Aretha Franklin. And I could not believe it. And she was talking about her beauty. That's what she said. Her beauty. And it was a moment, but I was trembling inside. But, you know, I pulled it together. Yes. But that was just like real-life Black girl magic right in front of me. Iconic Black girl magic. And it was just, I was just so grateful to be in the middle of something so wonderful. She had just blessed the crowd. And it was amazing. And then my second favorite moment was being maybe 4 rows behind Taraji one year while she was getting her entire life to the Mary J. Blige set. I mean, entire life. This was before Cookie, but she was giving us all the cookie, okay? She was dancing and laughing and just having a great time. And she was just a Mary J. Blige fan in that moment, not Taraji P. Henson. That really reminded me that music and moments like that bring us all together.
So speaking of music and grooving, who are you looking forward to hearing and seeing perform this year at Essence Festival?
So Mary J. Blige has curated her own night on Saturday, okay? It's called the Strength of a Woman lineup. And it is going to be so good. She's got Monica, Jasmine Sullivan. I mean, I don't even know how we're going to take it. I told her when she was here at the office last week, I said, I'm going to bring my flat sandals, tie my hair up, and put on some earrings and bring 2 bottles of water because I know I'm just going to lose everything. My life, my edges, all of it. You know, it's really going to kill shots. It's going to be iconic. That's going to be the voice explosion. So I'm really looking forward to that, you know. And then, of course, seeing our old favorites, Remy Ma and Irene. And then Diana Ross is going to be there, the boss.
Ooh, nice. Yes, I love Diana, and I definitely love India.Arie. So I want you to tell us where we can get our tickets. You know, where do we go to get more information about getting into the festival this year?
You just go ahead and Google Essence Fest. You can go to essence.com to find your tickets. Anywhere you search Essence Fest tickets, they'll come right up. Head on over to Ticketmaster. Just come. You can get single-day tickets, or you can get tickets for all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But please know that if you don't go, you're going to hear about it, and you're going to wish you had. And you're going to have major FOMO.
Yes, don't have FOMO. I'm going to have FOMO this year, but definitely not next year because I'm going to be in the building. And ladies, if you want to know where to find a good guy, I'm sure there's going to be tons of eligible men at Essence Festival. Yes. So that's definitely a great place to meet good guys, you know, quality guys, and have a good time. So you definitely want to check out Essence Festival 2017. Don't miss out on it, and go to get your ticket today. Don't miss out. So coming up, we're going to talk about Five with the Fellas, and I can't wait to have this conversation with Charli. Sit tight.
Everybody successful lays a blueprint out. You laid the blueprint out. I stayed true to my dreams, and by doing that, eventually it came true.
A lot of times, you know, it's like in life, right? Life brings like drama, and you got to deal with this person, and then you funky relationship here, and all these things. You try and just kind of balance them out as best I can.
Make a choice, right? You just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way.
Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what real beasts do.
Unleash your beast. Write your history.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Your health is at stake. Diabetes, gout, high blood pressure, inflammation, and joint pain, even weight loss. It's time to end your battle. The Abundant Life Movement is dedicated to the building of generational health by transforming your water with the power of alkaline to improve hydration and fight against acidic and unhealthy conditions in the body. Here's a testimonial from Linda Rogers Brown and Pamela McMillan.
2011, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had no pain and no symptoms associated with that illness. It's a silent killer. I was introduced to Extreme X2O alkaline water, and within 2 days of drinking it, I was off all my pain medicine, and now we're 6 years strong, no chemo, no radiation, no cancer.
I am a 3-time cancer survivor. I was born with thyroid cancer. By being on the alkaline products allowed me to be able to cope currently with colon cancer. Now I'm able to function and be more mobile within 3 days of being on the product.
Extreme X2O, when the water you're drinking is damaging your health. Extreme X2O. For more info, AbundantLifeMovement.com or call 910-527-2260.
It's a Sensation Station Wealth Nation collaboration celebrating 7 years going hard in Always Radio Now. The Go Hard, Go Home Summer Series returns. It kicks off at Red Martini Lounge July 6th with multi-platinum selling artist Silk the Shocker. Silk the Shocker performing all hits with the celebrity red carpet brought to you by The Hype Magazine. It's no limit forever. The Hype Magazine, Wealth Nation, and Sensation Station Network celebrating 7 years goes hard July 6th at Red Martini Lounge. Tickets only $10. Get more info at ssnatl.com.
I know you got a man and all. And move my way.
5 for the fellas. So as much as I enjoy empowering our women and supporting other women, I also love empowering the fellas and really shining light on them. And so 5 for the fellas is all about supporting our men, letting women know that there are more than a few good men out there, and really giving them a platform to either come in studio with me or share with us over the phone, or even just me highlighting them and all of the great things that they are doing also. And also an opportunity for them to give us some relationship advice, you know, not just for women, but for men as well, and how to really navigate through this dating process and relationships and still win. And so I love a good daddy-daughter moment. I don't know about you, Charli.
Yes, I do.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Yes, and so today, this segment for 5 with the fellas is all about that. I know Father's Day is around the corner, so I'm probably talking about this a little quick, but I just couldn't resist. There have been some amazing daddy-daughter moments happening around me this week, and I definitely want to share it and talk with you about it. I am at a conference right now in Atlanta, so in between doing the show, I am at a business conference with Lamar Tyler and his wife, Ronnie, of Black and Married with Kids, and he's doing his TSP Live conference, and I'm excited to be there with them. And one of the quotes that I heard from someone just yesterday at the conference was, "An engaged father produces an empowered daughter." And I love that. And I couldn't agree more. And so as I was scrolling through Instagram, I came across a guy named Pop Vasquez. Do you follow him, or are you familiar with him?
That sounds really familiar. I think I might be. Tell me more.
I'll tell you more. So he posted a video with him and his daughter. They were in the car, and she's sitting on, in between the driver and passenger seat, and she's crying. She's distressed. She's kind of hysterical, and he's having this conversation with her, and he's saying, well, what's going on? What's wrong? Talk to me. And, she's trying to get her feelings together. You know how we can be as women sometimes. We're just so emotional, and we're trying to just get our, wrap our minds around what we really are trying to say and feeling at the moment. And he calmed her down, and he soothed her through conversation and just trying to understand what was going on with her in that moment. And she leans in and gives him a hug, and she goes, you know what? I want mommy. And he says, I want mommy too. And he says, you don't have to cry next time. And she says, okay. And so he's like, give me a hug. And so she gives her dad a hug. And of course, this kind of went viral. And I loved it. It just made my heart go pitter-patter, and I just loved it. So, I mean, I don't know if you saw that video, but what do you think about that and, the role of a dad and how that plays in, the self-esteem and the emotion of a young girl as she grows up?
I remember the clip now after you told me, and I really adored it, especially because I am 1,000% a daddy's girl.
Yes.
My dad and I are best friends, and it's really honestly because my mom passed when I was really little, and he had to be my mom and my dad, and he's been so great at that, and he can give me outfit advice, or he can calm me down, or we can just watch the game, and it all works out, and I think it's just so important, but our big thing is communication, and don't judge me, you guys, but ever since I went away to college, my father has called me every morning at 6 a.m. to tell me good morning and to see how I'm going to start my day, and he started it while I was in college at Spelman. Shout out to Spelman in Atlanta. He started it while I was away, I think just to be sure I was alive every day, since I didn't live under his roof anymore, and he wanted to make sure that I made it home, the night before. So we kept that tradition, and I am 34 years old, and we still, every morning, even my husband's like, "Oh, it's your dad." When the phone rings, so that's how we communicate.
I love it. I think that is fantastic. And it makes me think about the next person I wanted to highlight, the next daddy-daughter moment. And it's a routine similar to that, but he's created this with his daughter as well. But while at the conference, I got to meet Speech Thomas, who is the founder of the hip-hop group Arrested Development. Do you know about him?
Of course, girl, stop it. Don't play me. Absolutely.
Well, I got the opportunity to chit-chat with him and his beautiful wife, and they have an amazing daughter named Zoe, and she shares the same name as my daughter. And he just talked about how proud he was of her and the dynamic of their relationship and how much he's, been able to pour into her and really support her as, she's coming into her own. I'm sure you probably know she's one of the lead actresses on BET's The Quad.
Yep.
And it just melted my heart to hear him speak about family and really speak about the relationship that he has with his daughter and the importance of it and his role in her life. And I love when men choose to be that role and be present and have that relationship and really cultivate that relationship with their daughters, because it's so important and we need it. And the other guy that I wanted to highlight, you may or may not have seen him, but it's my husband.
Yes, I have. Shout out to hubby.
I call him Wes the Best because he is just amazing. This week I have been gone in Atlanta here at the conference, and then I have the radio show today. And one of our daughters, our oldest one, Zoe, she got sick, and he was in a tizzy. He's like, normally Dominique takes care of this. I'm normally not the one doing this. And so he had both girls, our 4-year-old and our 2-year-old, in the emergency room. And he had me on... we did a Google Hangout so that I can lay eyes on her and see her, and make sure she was doing okay. And to witness the conversation that he was having with her, soothing her, letting her know that everything was going to be okay. Daddy's got you. I'm holding your hand. It just made me realize how blessed, I am, my children are, and so many other people are, to have a father in their life that actually care about them, that are actually present in their lives and, care about their well-being. I think that with kids like this, they are going to grow up really well with high self-esteem, most of them anyway, high self-esteem and confident. And I think more importantly, it is really going to help them make quality decisions in the dating space. So what do you think about
Absolutely.
that?
And we have to share the load. Your husband sounds amazing.
He is.
Kudos to you. You both sound very blessed. I love the love.
Yes.
Let me just first and foremost say I love the love. And I think my husband and I don't yet have kids, but we do have a little fur baby.
Yes.
I say our dog. But I will say that watching him interact with our nieces and nephews, and really just the way he loves the children in our family and the way he loves me, it just speaks volumes about what type of dad he's going to be.
Yes.
And I just really think think it's important that we share the load, and I love that your husband jumps in. My husband and I always laugh when it's like when people say like a man thing or a woman thing. It's that whoever can get to a thing, and that's kind of how we operate.
I love that.
Who's closest to the task, and let that person handle it. Give the other person just a little break, and we love each other that much more for that reason.
Yes, I love that. Well, I think that I encourage more guys, if you're listening, to really be intentional about the relationship that you have with your daughter, being present in her life, telling her that she's beautiful, telling her that she matters, motivating her and encouraging her to pursue her dreams and telling her that, hey, you can do this and I'm rooting for you. I think that that's really, really important. I had some of that growing up, and I can tell you it did wonders for me. Charli has experienced it and is still experiencing it every day with her dad. And so you can see the fruits of that labor, I think. And I think it's incredible. Well, Charli, tell everyone how they can follow you, because I know this is ending your time with us on the show, but tell everybody how they can follow you, and again, how they can get into Essence Festival 2017 this year.
Absolutely. You can find me at Man Wife Dog, which is MANWIFE DOG. That's my little family of 3. You can follow me anywhere online. So that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find me on there, Charli Penn Watkins, relationship editor. I'm here for you guys. Pass the love, share the love, reach out to me, say hello. I'm super friendly. You'll see. And you can always find my advice and my work on essence.com or manwifeanddog.com. Please do check out our Yes Girl podcast.
Yes.
That's the Essence, yes, comma, girl, exclamation point. Podcast, anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, iTunes, you name it, Google Play, we're all there. So come find us, come say hello. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yes, Charli, it has been an honor and a pleasure. I've enjoyed having this good girl talk with you. Until next time, but guys, keep it locked right here on No Strings Attached. It's your new #1 source for relationship empowerment.
What's a dumb way to listen to an awesome mix of urban hits? Smart
Sensation Station Network.
Too much sauce.
Now we come to the special feature of our program.
Sensation Station Network.
No strings attached.
Sensation Station Network.
All right, guys, it's your girl, Dominique Clark, your favorite matchmaker and relationship mentor, and you are tuned into the brand new radio show, No Strings Attached, right here live on the Sensation Station Network every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. And so we know relationships are tested, right? Every relationship will be tested at some point. But the question is, will you pass or will you fail? So it's time for Pass or Fail. And this week, who I gave an A for effort and, who I thought passed this week and has given us really good relationship goals is Fox's Empire stars Grace and Trey Byers. Now, I don't know if you watch Empire, but I'm definitely an Empire fan. I'm a huge Cookie fan, so I'm always tuned in to watch them. And these two are fantastic. I love watching them on social media. I love watching their love story and the way their relationship has flourished. So this year, they are celebrating their 1-year wedding anniversary, and they're doing that by gracing the very first cover of the brand new Cayman Vows magazine with the official launch of their wedding photos and sneak peeks into their wedding day. So last year when they got married, they didn't post any photos or any snippets from their wedding, but this year we get to see it all. So if you want to see it, you definitely want to pick up the Grand Cayman's new magazine. It'll be available next month in Canada and the U.S., but you can also find it this week in the Grand Cayman. And so I'm excited about them. I love them. Whether they are walking the red carpet together, whether they are giving us body goals on vacation, or just posting funny, cute videos of themselves and their love story, I love it. So kudos to them. Keep going, guys. We love watching you. So the fail, because everybody can't get it right. So this week's fail goes to Khloe Kardashian. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen clips, but recently they've been posting some clips of the season finale of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Now, Khloe is spilling all the beans, and in this clip, she says that, or she actually admits to fake trying to get pregnant with Lamar Odom's baby. Now, I thought that this was kind of crazy, but she says, quote, "I was married, but I knew the circumstances weren't the healthiest. So I just kept pretending I was doing it," end quote. Now, I was really shocked by this because I took Khloe as someone who's really into Lamar, really into their relationship. If you watch the show, you know, there were moments where she was kind of depressed about not being able to have a kid and conceive. And you got to see some of the struggles and stuff that she had. And so for this information to surface now, I'm really disappointed because I feel like, one, she lied. And I think you have to be really, really careful for two reasons. One, if you feel like you're in an unhealthy situation, in an unhealthy relationship, get out of the relationship. You know, don't stay in there and then continue to do things, or move through the relationship pretending that you want to be there. And I think that doesn't work for either party, right? And the second thing is that you got to be careful when you do stuff like that because you're not the only person involved. You have to consider the other person's emotions. And so as Khloe was trying to, get pregnant or pretending to try to get pregnant, Lamar on the other side is, excited about the possibility of having another child, and he's probably going through the ups and downs emotionally that they probably experienced of not being able to conceive. And so I think when you do things like that, it could be very selfish. I think that you always have to consider the other person when you're in a relationship. And if you feel like you're at a point where you have to pretend or things just aren't healthy, then you need to get out, And so that's why I think that Khloe gets the fail of the week. Khloe, I'm sorry, I'm disappointed, boo. I think you could do much better than that. And I actually expected, much more from her. So that's this week's Pass or Fail. Kudos to Grace and Trey. And Khloe, do better. Step your game up. We expect more from you. Coming up, guys, we have Shoulda, Woulda, Coulda. So you want to sit tight. Let's get into these trending topics.
No strings attached. That's me, Dominique.
And so a new American industry has been born. Sensation Station Network.
Your health is at stake. Diabetes, gout, high blood pressure, inflammation, and joint pain, even weight loss. It's time to end your battle. The Abundant Life Movement is dedicated to the building of generational health by transforming your water with the power of alkaline to improve hydration and fight against acidic and unhealthy conditions in the body. Here's a testimonial from Linda Rogers-Brown and Pamela McMillan.
2011, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had no pain and no symptoms associated with that illness. It's a silent killer. I was introduced to Extreme X2O alkaline water, and within 2 days of drinking it, I was off all my pain medicine, and now we're 6 years strong, no chemo, no radiation, no cancer.
I am a 3-time cancer survivor. I was born with thyroid cancer. By being on the alkaline products allowed me to be able to cope currently with colon cancer. Now I'm able to function and be more mobile within 3 days of being on the product.
Extreme X2O, when the water you're drinking is damaging your health. Extreme X2O. For more info, AbundantLifeMovement.com or call 910-527-2260.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When it comes to saving money, don't act like a baby.
Goo goo gaga.
Be the boss and make a budget.
I'm the boss, baby.
You're not the boss of me.
I am the boss of you.
Are not.
M2.
Are not.
M2.
Need a little help?
Aren't you going to do any work?
I'm very busy delegating.
Create a personalized savings plan.
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
And get other tools and tips at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Georgia.
Y'all need anything else?
Sensation Station Network.
SSNATL.com. We've got the internet locked down. With an awesome mix of urban hits and smart talk for the smarter listener. Go to Google Play and download the app free. Search SSNATL.
Sound of news in the making.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. So, this is where we talk about what's trending on social media, online. We talk about what's making headlines this week. And I want to start with Miss Mary J. Mary J. Blige, we all love her. We just heard from Charli. She's going to be doing a phenomenal show at Essence Festival this year. But that's not why she made headlines. Mary J. Blige was ordered to pay only $30,000 a month in spousal support to her ex-husband, who initially demanded $129,000. Now, in addition to that, all legal fees and another $230,000 in retroactive spousal support. So I don't know if you guys have been following. I'm sure you have. But if you have not, this couple, Mary J. Blige and her ex-husband, are in the middle of a really messy divorce, and it's really, really disheartening. I've actually got to hear some of her interviews as she's going through this process, and it's a different Mary. She really seems sad. You could tell that she's going through, but she's still showing up. The good thing about it is that we know that when Mary is in these times, she produces real good music. But, you could really see the shift in her as she's going through this. And one of the things that the judge, which I thought was great, he decided was that he wasn't going to give her ex-husband, the $129,000 that he requested. He filed a petition, and he created a list of monthly expenses that came up to that $129,000 sum total. The judge decided that his demands were unreasonable, which I think so too. However, he did feel that he was entitled to some money to continue on with the standard of living he had grown accustomed to. No, sir. My thing is, if you decided to step outside your relationship, now, for those of you who don't know, Mary J. Blige's husband or ex-husband, he stepped outside of the marriage. He cheated, and I think that when you decide to do that, there is no more standard of living. You know what I mean? You made a conscious choice to step outside of the marriage. And so to me, that means that you are leaving the benefits of also being within that marriage. You know what I mean? You didn't appreciate it while you were there. Why expect it, on your way out the door? And so I really hate that, Mary J. is going through these struggles. I'm going to continue to watch as everything unfolds, but I think things are already moving in her favor quite a bit. So, since she only has to pay $30,000 as opposed to $129,000. So things are already looking up for her in that sense, but I think it's crazy. $30,000 a month? I mean, gosh. But to feel like you're still entitled to that after you did the relationship wrong is amazing to me. So, but that's what's going on with Mary. Keep her in your thoughts. The other thing that I wanted to talk about today, which, is more of a positive twist to shoulda, woulda, coulda, is Yara Shahidi. Now, I love her. You guys are probably familiar with her from the hit show Blackish. She's one of the stars of that show. She's the oldest daughter on that show. And I really loved watching her grow as a young woman, and just how smart she is. Recently, she posted on social media that she committed to Harvard University, so she'll be attending Harvard in the fall. And what I love about that is that it shows that even with her fame, even the fact that she is an amazing actress who's won awards and has been seen all over, education and fulfilling that part of her life was still very important. And I think that speaks to her upbringing. I think it speaks to her parents and the values that they have instilled in her. She's a very humble young lady, and I love to watch her. And one of the things that I love most about her, too, is she's woke, y'all. She's all the way woke. She's definitely socially conscious, and she is a big supporter and rallier of women and Black Lives Matter, and talking about what's right and not being afraid to take a stance for that. And so I love that she is continuing, her career in this way. She's pursuing an educational career in the midst of that. And I wanted to share something that she wrote on social media, which I love, and it made me fall in love with her even more. She says that and this is a picture of her graduation because she just recently graduated from high school. She says, one large supportive family, like-minded peers, 3 seasons of a comedy, 1.5 years of no heat on my hair, many life-changing books, quite a few lessons learned from 2 people that she shouted out in her post, many great adventures, and a handful of all-nighters finishing essays, getting frustrated while doing derivatives, falling in love with James Baldwin, who she loves, followed by even more growth and daunting college processes, a few panic attacks, and even more blissful moments, a spinoff and a final A-push project later. I'm here. Thank you to everyone who's created the beautiful memories, opportunities, and adventures that have gotten me to this moment. Guys, if that does not inspire you, I don't know what else does. So I want to talk about it a little bit more after the break, but we do have Bay and Buster coming up, so I hope you guys have gotten your votes in the poll. Keep it locked right here. It's No Strings Attached.
Great leaders aren't born. They're made, and not just anywhere. They're made in special places by special qualified trainers in places like the Academy of Creative Coaching. The Academy of Creative Coaching is an international certification program with courses in health and wellness coaching, spiritual coaching, relationship coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, and cultural competency coaching. Courses are online, hybrid, or face-to-face. The Academy of Creative Coaching is empowering coaches to empower the world. Make a positive change in yourself and the world. Go to academyofcreativecoaching.com.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community
a second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. That's goodwill.org. This message brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Represent. Gotta represent.
Sensation Station Network.
Yes! That's awesome!
Too much sauce.
Hey guys, it's your favorite matchmaker, Dominique Clark, and relationship mentor, and you are tuned into No Strings Attached, your new #1 source for relationship empowerment. And guess what? You can hang out with me live every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Sensation Station Network. You could also follow the show and think that I'll be talking about on Instagram at @DClarkandCo. I'll be talking about who's going to be on the show this week. I'll be posting the Bay and Buster poll, so you definitely want to keep an eye out for that. But have you guys had a good time so far? I certainly have. It was such an honor to be able to interview and have some good girl gab with the senior digital relationship and lifestyle editor of Essence, Miss Charli Penn. And again, if you want to get some nuggets from her, she's also a relationship expert. She also works with couples in their marriage. So you can follow her and her blog at manwifeanddog.com. And so I was excited to talk to her, and I'm excited for what we may do next. So stay tuned. Also, if you want to call in, I want to talk to you. So make sure you call in. You can call in at 678-613-5857. That's 678-613-5857. So yes, guys, keep it locked with us. I'm so excited about it. Let's talk about what's coming up next. It's the Bay.
Time for Bay
and
Buster.
It's the Bay and Buster poll. I hope you guys have followed me on social media today at @DClarkandCo, where I posted today's Bay or Buster poll. And here's what it was. If your ex-boyfriend or if your current boyfriend still invites the ex-girlfriend to all the family cookouts, is that Bay or is that Buster? You know, is it okay for your current boyfriend to be friends with his ex-girlfriend? And so I wanted to hear from you guys because I have seen that in a lot of situations, this has actually worked. You know, I have come across several people who have told me that they actually have really good relationships with their exes. And, you know, and even to take it a step further, are being invited to the family cookout because they've created, you know, some sort of a relationship with their family by being in a relationship with this person. And so I've definitely seen where it works. But on the other side of it, I've definitely seen where it doesn't work. You know, some people are just repulsed by their ex and don't want anything to do with them. And so I posed this question online today. And let me read some of the responses. One person said, really? I mean, she said, really? I mean, is this his child's mother? And is she required to be at the functions for the child? Laugh out loud, which I think is a good point, because I think that that's also something to consider if there's a child involved and maybe, you know, you guys want to maintain some sort of, you know, cordial relationship for the sake of the kids. I can see that. And then someone else says, if this really happens in real life, there's only one excuse: thirsty. There's clearly more to it than BFFs. And yes, best friends forever doesn't necessarily mean forever, girl. I don't know what you meant by that, but I got you for the most part. Another person said from Facebook that this is definitely a Buster. I want no parts of my guy dealing with the ex-boy or the ex-girlfriend. And so I actually agree with that. You know, I think, well, I'll say this first. I think it actually depends on how the relationship ends. That'll determine how you guys move forward afterward. You know, if there was like cheating or disrespect or some sort of trauma, then it would probably be kind of difficult to mend everything and, you know, continue as friends beyond that. But if the relationship had a natural moment where it just kind of just ran its course and both people decided mutually that, hey, it's probably best that we go our separate ways, then I think that in those type of situations, which are not likely, then having a friendship beyond that, you know, may work. You know, it works for some people. And one of the things that I tell people all the time is that if you're going to consider being cordial and still engaging with the ex, you got to know the difference between being friendly and being a friend. So being a friend means, you know, let's come on over, let's do a little Netflix and chill, let's hang out, you know, that type of thing. You're still spending time together. That's what I consider a friend. You know, that's what I do with my friends. We'll go to the movies together. We'll shop. You know, we'll go out to eat together. You know, that's what you do, you know, with your friends. Then on the other hand, there's friendly. Now, friendly, which is what I recommend in this situation, is where you are able to just be cordial. You know, you guys can still be in the same room and not feel like you have to go at each other's throat. You know, it's just when you see them passing in the mall or down the street, it's like, hey, what's up? And that's the extent of it. You know, so I always tell people all the time that if you're going to, it's okay to be okay with your ex after the breakup, but you need to decide, you know, am I going to be friendly or am I going to be friends? And if you choose friends, how that's going to impact your next relationship or your current relationship. One of the things that, and I'll tell my story, I'll be transparent. One of the things that some people know about my husband and I is that when we were dating and we were in college, there was a stint where we broke up. And during that time, I was like, you know what, I'm done with him. I'm moving on. I'm going to go, you know, talk to the next guy or whatever. And he said the same thing too. And we tried to remain friends, but what we could not deny was the connection and bond that we had with each other. And even though we were broken up, somehow we still kept finding our way back to each other, which now I'm happy we did because we're together. But in that moment, it probably wasn't, you know, the best thing. And it speaks to how difficult it can be to maintain a friendship with someone that you were once involved with because of the emotions, you know, and the attachment that you guys had. And so one of the things I think is that being in a relationship is about so many other things. It's about family. It's about support. It's about codependency and being intimate in a way that transcends the sexual. So I think because of that, it makes it hard to transition into a friendship post-relationship because of all the things that you guys experienced together, the relationships outside of each other that were formed as a result of each other, and the level of intimacy emotionally, mentally, and all of that stuff spiritually that you guys had with each other outside of sex, just as a result of spending so much time together and being in a relationship. So I think that it's difficult, and I also think that it could be difficult with you moving on beyond the relationship. So that's this week's Bay or Buster poll. Thanks to everybody who tuned in and gave their responses. Coming up after the break, we have another segment with the Snatchback, so keep it locked.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Uncle Dan?
Mom? Dad?
If you store your guns properly, so not just anyone can get to them.
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside. Safer when walking home.
Safer when my friends come over. As your neighbor, I'll feel safer.
As a school teacher, I'll feel safer.
We'll all feel safer.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Your health is at stake. Diabetes, gout, high blood pressure, inflammation, and joint pain, even weight loss. It's time to end your battle. The Abundant Life Movement is dedicated to the building of generational health by transforming your water with the power of alkaline to improve hydration and fight against acidic and unhealthy conditions in the body. Here's a testimonial from Linda Rogers-Brown and Pamela McMillan.
2011, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had no pain and no symptoms associated with that illness. It's a silent killer. I was introduced to Extreme X2O alkaline water, and within 2 days of drinking it, I was off all my pain medicine, and now we're 6 years strong, no chemo, no radiation, no cancer.
I am a 3-time cancer survivor. I was born with thyroid cancer. By being on the alkaline products allowed me to be able to cope currently with colon cancer. Now I'm able to function and be more mobile within 3 days of being on the product.
Extreme X2O, when the water you're drinking is damaging your health. Extreme X2O. For more info, AbundantLifeMovement.com or call 910-527-2260.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community
a second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. That's goodwill.org. This message brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Adopt you.